Welcome back to another mock draft. Today's mock draft Wednesday. Today we will be again doing a one-round mock draft. After the Super Bowl, we'll be doing 2 rounds. One-round mock draft, no trades, stick and pick. I'm gonna keep it simple one last time, and then we'll get a little frisky when the off season comes over, because that's gonna be a low key annoying to make content for. But we are going to survive until the season starts again. It's crazy how the season's almost about to end too. It's crazy. Just we just watched the Eagles versus Cowboys, and Jalen Carter got suspended or ejected. I don't know. I can't remember if he got suspended. I think he got suspended. Yeah. So it's crazy to think. All that. Sorry, my hair is a mess too. It's been a rough week. Some might say, and my hair kind of describes it. We're getting really sidetracked. Let's go. What the fuck? Okay, let's go for number 1 overall pick. The Las Vegas Raiders stick and pick. Well, they wouldn't really trade back, but they pick Fernando Mendoza. This is the easiest pick in the entire mock draft. Raiders need quarterback. Mendoza, maybe not as good as some other quarterback prospects, but this is a very weak quarterback class. So he's a good frame, very accurate, and is a winner and a leader. So why overthinking and picks Ruben Bain, Arbo Reese? Well, those guys can be number 1 overall picks, but I just don't think it's worth it. When the Raiders need a quarterback, and it's the most important position in the league, so might as well take the proven winner, the Heisman winner. Just take him. No need to overthink this. The Jets. Let's go with Arbo Reese. With recent hiring of Aaron Glenn, who likes his defensive guys, and their coordinators coming in and out, I think Arbo Reese is a good pick here. Versatility. He might not even play off ball primarily. You're taking him for his edge threat ability and his edge threat potential, and it's an easy pick here too. It's not an easy pick. You can go Bain or Bailey, but I like Reese the most here, and he's the most versatile. He has the most upside, and he was very good. What the heck? Why is there an error? Do I have to restart? What? I've never seen that before. Okay, anyways, yeah, it's been a wonky start, but yeah, take Reese here, perfect pick. The Cardinals. I usually have them going CC Malinois. I'm gonna have them go Spencer Fano. It's really between a tackle for me. I can't really see them taking Jeremiah Love or even David Bailey or Ruben Bain. Even Downs. I think Downs is very early. But Fano and Malinois are 100% in play, and I think Malinois will end up going, but Fano I think has the potential to. He's a big guy, very powerful, very strength. Pass pro is okay. Run blocking was pretty good this year. Younger guy. Just take your tackle here, and hopefully build up the trenches. That's not a bad pick. Titans. I'm gonna go David Bailey here. Usually I got Ruben Bain, and David Bailey usually falls in the 7 to 13 range for me. Maybe not even 7 or 12 range, because if Dallas have him available, I'm taking him for Dallas. But with David Bailey, there's concerns, right? There's concerns off the field. He was, I think, caught punching a camera ban in ASU when they lost that ASU game, which is not going to fly in the NFL, especially the no fun league. They had nicknamed that, and he would 100% get fined if he did that shit in the NFL. So, and he also had a problem with NC State too, where he stomped someone, I think, or North Carolina. I don't know. One time when he was on Stanford. So, and it's been a very wonky start, but yeah. But David Bailey, his speed and his ability to get to the quarterback is undeniable. This is a very good prospect in terms of pass rushing. It's just run blocking or run stopping. Run stopping. I keep on saying run blocking. Run stopping is very, very concerning, and you don't know if he's gonna be a 3-down lineman. But I say you can develop him under Robert Saleh. I think he has a good track history with some of these edges, and the Jets, when he was the head coach there, he coached a pretty good defense. So I'm not going to be worried about David Bailey's development. I think that if he goes to somewhere like Tennessee, where there's good coaches, good defensive minds there, I think he can really, really accentuate and really go to that next level and being maybe a 3-down lineman. And you're not taking a filler rotational lineman at number 4. So I think their plan will be to make him a 3-down lineman. But speed's there, pass rushing is there. It's just run stopping, but you can really develop that. He's his ceiling is pretty high. The Giants. I've gone Sonny Styles in some of my mock drafts off camera when I just like do it for fun. But I'm gonna go see like with the recent hiring of Matt Nagy. Like I don't know where I would go. So this is gonna be an interesting pick. I'm not gonna do Caleb Nance today. I'm gonna do Sonny Styles. Listen, you don't usually see linebackers fall this high because it's again positional value. Same with safeties. You don't see them fall this high, right? But honestly, Sonny Styles has been so good that maybe you could realistically see him. Not realistically, but there's a chance. There's always a chance. And with Giants, there's so many free agents. McFadden's a free agent, and Bobby Okereke is not what you signed or when you signed him. He's regressed a little bit. He's getting older. So Sonny Styles, who's been one of the most prolific tacklers, maybe even the most prolific tackler in college football this year, giving it to the Giants who lack talent, tackling wise, and run defense being the worst last year. This is honestly a very good pick. I think he can fill. Like I said, I've said this for many times. He can fill every single gap perfectly. He's very good in coverage too. He was a former safety. He's very fast. You can realistically see him going 5. But again, at the same time, linebackers aren't usually taking that high, but today I have him going number 5. All right, the Browns. So if the Browns have Maui Noah available, I'm going to take him every single time. Maui Noah, again, has done wonders in that playoff run. You can move him to guard or tackle, but there's Conklin's going to become a free agent, so I think just taking Maui Noah here to replace a lot of that the talent that's leaving on that Browns offensive line. So I think taking him here is honestly not a bad pick. The Commanders, I have the Commanders going Ruben Bain Jr. out of Miami. Again, Ruben Bain Jr. can go well from this 10 to 2 range, but today I have him going 7 because there's been problems with his productivity has been very good, but when tackles have longer arms and longer outreach, he has struggled. And in the NFL, most tackles have big, long arms. That's why they get drafted so highly, or that's why they just get drafted in general. And him here, he's struggled with that. He doesn't have great bend, but he's very ferocious, very violent. So I think the Dan Quinn gets his guy. He takes Ruben Bain Jr. Hopefully he eventually really takes that step forward, and I think the production will eventually speak for itself. I think he can be the best edge in this class. He's the only 3-down lineman I can see going up. In my opinion, David Bailey isn't quite there yet. Arvo Reese maybe isn't there yet. Maybe he'll do off the ball, but he's not really a pure edge, so he can do both. So you can maybe count that, but I don't think you're counting Arvo Reese as a edge rusher specifically. You're taking him for his versatility. So taking Ruben Bain Jr. here for his 3-down run stopping ability, who's probably one of the best in the class. Is good, but again, there's a problem with his bend and his matchup sometimes. So take that into accountability. But again, good pick here. I think Dan Quinn will have a good time developing him. The Saints. I usually go Jeremiah Love here. No wide receivers have been taken off the board yet. I'm gonna go something a little crazy. I'm gonna go Mekhi Lemon. If you guys watch my mock drafts regularly, you know I like Mekhi Lemon. I think Mekhi Lemon has the highest ceiling in the draft this year. It's just that he's not as physically capable as some others, right? You know, someone like Jordan Tyson, right, who is 200, 6'2". Mekhi Lemon's like 5'10". He's 5'11", 195. He's a little shorter. He's gonna be playing primarily slot, but I say taking Mekhi Lemon is a safer pick than taking Jordan Tyson with the same upside, because Jordan Tyson, again, with his injuries, right? I'll get to him when I pick him. But Mekhi Lemon, he has a low drop rate, production wherever he goes. He's literally just like all around St. Brown. Same college and everything. Literally just a copy and paste. USC love these slot type of guys and producing that. He's literally just an all around St. Brown. I like this pick a lot, and I think with Olave, who is never really 100% healthy all the time, and who has had injury history in the past, Mekhi Lemon, who will basically be available most of the time. You know, he's less injury prone and has less injury concern than Conte or Jordan Tyson. Is a good indicator on what this team needs, which is availability sometimes for Chuck and that defense. You can maybe the offense. You can maybe go Love, but I think taking Lemon here isn't a bad pick. The Chiefs, I'm gonna go Love. Easy pick. It's just easy, man. Mahomes is off an ACL tear. Hiring Bieniemy again. Maybe he'll use Jeremiah Love how he used prime Kareem Hunt. So we'll take this. The Bengals. I'm gonna go a little crazy. Usually I have them taking down, so that's getting a little boring. Let's go Mansur Delane. Mansur Delane is one of the best press coverage corners in this draft class, maybe the best and the best physical corner. His arm length is a little short, which organizations taking into accountability, but I don't think that's going to hinder him that much. He probably won't go like 4 or 3 where you've seen like Derek Stingley or Sauce Gardner go, which is like that 4 to 3 range. But he will go. I think he'll definitely go top 15, maybe even top 10, and I have him going 10 here. And the reason why is he's very physically gifted. He has a nose for the ball. I think he will be a lockdown corner in the NFL. He's produced wherever he's gone, Virginia Tech or LSU. It's been a good season for him. So I think taking him here at 10 isn't ridiculous. Cam Taylor-Britt is hitting free agency. That corner room for the Bengals are looking very, very slim and thin. So I think taking Dylan here is a good pick. Get some youth, get some hard-nosed football in there. That'll work perfectly fine. The Dolphins, I'm gonna have them take Jordan Tyson. There's a lot for the Dolphins to take. They could easily take Jamal McCoy. Jamal McCoy is 100% a player. I wouldn't hate the Dolphins organization for taking Jamal McCoy. Again, he's injured, but you're also taking another injury-prone player who hasn't played a lot either, which is Jordan Tyson, who has a bunch of lingering injuries in different places, which makes me fall a little bit, which is why he's not going in this top range, maybe to the Giants or something, who need wide receiver, or even the Titans. Not in love with him as with his injuries, but I think he'll produce whenever he's on the field. He produces, and if he's there 75% of the time, and producing like a top wide receiver, you're gonna take that for an 11th pick. And that's the hard truth. You're not gonna 100% have availability, maybe 100% of the time, but you don't know. Maybe it changes in college. Some players who are very injury prone in college maybe aren't that injury prone now, and it's vice versa. So taking Jordan Tyson here isn't a terrible pick, and I actually like this pick. The Cowboys, I'll have them going Jamad. Oh, no, Caleb Downs. They need safety. Honestly, the way that the Cowboys teams needs is honestly not that bad. They need maybe a wide receiver if they let Pickens walk. Maybe safety. Maybe a tackle. Maybe an edge rusher, like a pure edge rusher. So if some of these guys fall, no matter what, I think the Cowboys will be happy. And in this case, Caleb Downs, this mock draft falls. And I think this is a great pick for the Cowboys. Proven leader, great tackler, box safety. This is usually get picked this high, but generational players get picked generationally high. So I think taking him here is honestly a great pick. Proven leader in that Ohio State locker room. He will probably put that into Dallas if Dallas somehow get their hands on him and he falls. So I wouldn't hate this pick. The Rams. So you would have ideally loved McCallum, and I love McCallum going to the Rams. I really do. I'm going to take corner here. I'm going to go Jamal McCoy. I think this corner room, again, is very grim. It didn't play astounding, but they haven't played terrible. But I think taking Jamal McCoy, who isn't going to be rushed into this defense and be played into like, oh, you got to perform type of situation, leading like an instant start is fine. Ease him in back from the injury. He'll be a great fit for this team. And I think taking him here, who has probably been the best college football corner last year, not this year, but last year, when Ohio State won the national championship that season. He was the best corner before he tore his ACL. So I think taking him here is not a terrible pick. The Ravens, I'm gonna have going a little crazy. Caleb Banks out of Florida. Listen, I don't love Caleb Banks as a prospect. I think he's old. He's very injury prone, but he had a great Senior Bowl, and this is going to be a big focus. He's had a great Senior Bowl, and I think taking Caleb Banks here isn't a terrible pick. There's upside there for the small sample size you've gone. It's not been terrible, and he had a slow start to the Senior Bowl, but then he eventually ramped it up. He just throws around people, like he literally just does. There's like a huge difference, and Matabike is getting with this injury. You don't know if he's coming back. There was a tweet on Twitter. I don't know. I'm not going to really comment on that because you don't really know much. But Caleb Banks is a good fit. Next to Travis Jones, who they just extended. I think Caleb Banks can be the number one defensive tackle in Baltimore, with Minter getting a new toy to use. The Bucks, I'm going to go Cassius Howell. I don't usually like taking Cassius Howell this high. I'm not huge on him either. I think he's not a 3-down lineman. But you can maybe develop into someone like Hassan Reddick, who is a huge, big speed rusher who can get to the quarterback. And I think Cassius Howell can do that. He's very good in pass pro. But I'm not sold on him as a run stopper. So I think taking him here is honestly not a bad pick. They need edge help, so I think taking Cassius Howell here is not a terrible pick. Jets. Carnell Tate's available, right? And I think that's where I'm going to go. They did take Alvaro Reese. I think I'm going to get Carnell Tate here. Get that quarterback, whoever that's going to be, Chambliss, Simpson, Kyler Murray. I don't know who. Insert quarterback here. They're going to need some help, and I think Garrett Wilson's not the clear-cut number one wide receiver there. Obviously, Garrett Wilson's the top number receiver when healthy. Argue with the wall. But Carnell Tate is going to be very good too, right? He's going to be very good. He's very good at route running, catching. At the catch point, he was very good. Kind of didn't do so well against Miami when they lost that game. But other than the year, otherwise, he's been astounding. He was number 2 to Jeremiah Smith, who's a generational wide receiver prospect. He was number 2, and his numbers were good next to Jeremiah Smith, who is, a generational number 1 guy. Who Jeremiah Smith, in like maybe a year or two, will be saying he's going number 1, right? With Carnell Tate, he was the guy next to him. He's kind of Robin to his Batman, right? So I think Tate here is perfect for a good quarterback. He doesn't have as high as the ceiling as some of the other receivers in this class, but the floor is not as bad either. And I like him here with this crisp route running. He'll be a good complement to that to Garrett Wilson and Adonai Mitchell. The lines, I'm gonna go offensive tackle here. I usually go offensive tackle here. I'm gonna go Monroe Freeling. I love Monroe Freeling here. Giant behemoth of a guy. I think taking him here is a great pick. He's he has problems with his technique a little bit sometimes, but he's very like big, strong, sound. He moves so well. I think he'll be a great fit for this Lions team, who can maybe move Sewell to wherever he wants, because he can play wherever. Really, he played blindside in Oregon. He can play right tackle in Detroit. He can play whatever he wants. So wherever Monroe feels the most comfortable, they're gonna put Sewell on the other side. And that's gonna be a great tackle duo if this pick eventually hits, which I think it will. With the Vikings, I usually go Avion Terrell. Like Avion Terrell, but I'm gonna go something a little more crazy. I'm gonna go Brandon Cisse. Brandon Cisse, there's problems with his press man coverage and his footwork a little bit, but I do really like his physicality, and he eventually tests for the combine. I think he should, where he'll just show off his physical abilities. I think he'll honestly propel himself even more. I think Brandon Cisse, for what is worth, he's been one of the best, like one of the lone bright spots for the South Carolina team. He's fast. He has good hands, good coverage. He's just a good corner, and they need corner in that room. So I think taking him here is not a bad pick. The Panthers. I don't know what I can do here. You could go Peter Woods. You need a real pass rusher, but maybe not. I'm gonna go Kenyon Sadiq out of Oregon. I like Kenyon Sadiq a lot, actually. I like him more than some other people. I don't know why people don't really like him that much. I think he's a very good prospect. He's decent blocking against 2 and 3 type players, where it's like linebackers and safeties. Edge rushers are a little bit to be desired, but I think he can get developed on that. And you're not taking him for his blocking ability; you're taking him really for his home run threat ability. He's just another wide receiver. He's a stretch wide receiver. He literally can be mic'd, line up anywhere, and he'll be dangerous. He's kind of like Kyle Pitts, like pre Falcons Kyle Pitts. He's very good. And I think taking Sadiq here, who can catch, who can stretch the field, who can maybe be a home run threat ability for a weak talent room, is not a bad idea. And obviously, there's needs for an edge rusher, but you can take that maybe later, and take maybe a Gabe Yaka, Zion Young, or even a Derek Moore who showed up against the Senior Bowl, or Joshua Josephs isn't a real 3-down linebacker, or Malachi Lawrence. Like it's not a terribly bad edge class. There are some concerns, but I think maybe waiting a little bit is not the end of the world. Taking Sadiq here, get Bryce Young some more help and see if he's really your guy. And I think with this supporting cast, he probably will be your guy. This is a very good supporting cast with McMillan, Coker, Leggett to an extent, and that running back tandem, which you never know with free agency, they might leave. But Sadiq now, it's going to be a really good room for Bryce Young to succeed, and I think they played really well against the Rams, and I think there's a lot to look forward to in Carolina. So we'll take them. The Cowboys. This is another interesting pick. I'm going to take T.J. Parker Clemson. Again, TJ Parker numbers aren't there. Cleanup sacks aren't there. There's not really a lot of real things to be proud of this season. But you're taking him for his upside. He showed up pretty well against the Senior Bowl. I think he did really well against the Senior in some of those drills. It's very fast, very quick. Maybe you can go Keldrick Folk, but I'm not in love with Keldrick Folk as a prospect either. I think he's very sloppy. He's kind of reminds me of Shamar Stewart. Sloppy, relies too much on his athleticism that might get him in trouble in the NFL level. So I think taking TJ Parker here, opposite of Ezeruku, and in between those two defensive tackles in Clark and Williams, not a bad pick. Taking TJ Parker, it's not a bad pick. The Steelers, I'm gonna have them going wide receiver Denzel Boston out of UW. I like Denzel Boston here too. He's a big guy. I think it's kind of redundant with DK Metcalf, but I think taking him here with the value is good enough. He's a big guy, really got the catch point. Very athletic, 6'4", 210. So I think taking him here is not a bad pick. And get some wide receiver threats in there, because other than DK Metcalf, you saw when he got suspended, there was no offense being generated. And I know it's not a very offensively talented team, but it's not terrible. So I think taking Denzel Boston can maybe elevate your offense a little bit more, and hopefully help that QB. Whoever I think that's probably gonna be Aaron Rodgers. But if you even draft someone, maybe Will Howard, it's gonna help them a lot to have that number 2 guy. I think taking him here, the Chargers. I'm gonna have the Chargers going Vig Ione. This is an easy pick. Vig Ione very rarely gives up any pressures. The interior offensive line of that Chargers team is abysmal. So I think taking Vega here, perfect pick. Not to chat about it too much. Easy pick. I'm gonna go Avon Terrell for the Eagles. Again, has a real nose for the football. Very aggressive. Can really play the ball well. I think he can maybe go in front of Brandon Cisse and get maybe be picked at 18 or even 17 too. Maybe the Lions are shopping for a corner, but I think taking Avion Terrell here is a great pick for the value. He can play outside or inside. He plays slot and boundary sometimes, so I think taking Avion Terrell here is a good pick, and don't have to think too much about it. The Browns, they took Francis Mauigoa, CC Mauigoa. There's the wide receivers are looking grim, right, in Cleveland, Ohio. I don't think Chris Brazzell, Elijah Surratt, or even Omar Cooper Jr. is a real wide receiver. I think Casey Conception here is honestly a fine pick. Again, stretch the field. He can really be a home run. He can play punt returner. He can even play on the inside, outside. Hands are a little bit of an issue, but I think his route running and actual game sense is really good. It's just there's drop issues, but I think he can shore those up and be maybe a number 1 or number 2 guy in Cleveland. The Bears take Peter Woods, land their run stopping defensive monster there. I think his stock has fallen a little bit, and we were talking about this a year ago. Maybe he was probably going number 1, maybe around like if Peter Woods lived up to the hype, he's probably going 2, maybe 4. Maybe even 5. The Giants don't have a great tandem. They have Alexander and Lawrence, obviously, but Woods would immediately step in and be the 2 next to Lawrence, obviously. But we're not matter about that. The Bears really stuck with the run defense this year. They got ran on by many teams and eventually led to their downfall. So I think taking Peter Woods here, who can maybe shore up that run defense, is not a bad pick. For the Bills, I'm gonna go Emmanuel McNeil Warren out of Toledo. Listen, I like Emmanuel McNeil Warren. He's good. You saw what a Toledo defensive back can do with Quinyon Mitchell. People were calling Quinyon Mitchell a reach. I think Emmanuel McNeil Warren is a perfect pick for the Bills. They need safety, and they just have him listed as DB. I think they need safety a lot. Emmanuel McNeil Warren can stretch the field. He plays good horizontally. Plays good downhill. He's a big presence in the safety area. So I think taking Emmanuel McNeil Warren here is good. And I would usually take a wide receiver here, but the wide receiver board hasn't fallen. You would love Casey Concepcion. We also love Denzel Boston. That didn't happen today. So taking McNeil Warren for a lackluster board fall for the Bills, not a bad pick. They need safety too. So this isn't a reach or this isn't a non-needed pick. This is a needed pick. This team has a little more holes than some might see. So I think McNeil Warren here is good. You can maybe say edge too. You may take Keldrick Folk, or even Messidor. I think Messidor will provide instant impact. But Warren here isn't terrible. The 49ers, I'm going to have them going Caleb Loma. Caleb Loma, again, big guy. He can move to guard or tackle, whatever they need him to. You may develop him as a tackle behind Trent Williams with a Hall of Fame tackle, but if you move him to guard and play him onside, that won't be a terrible pick either. No matter what, Caleb Loma is the pick here. Play him for wherever you need, and he'll be fine wherever he goes, wherever he plays in San Fran. The Texans, I'm having them going Caden Proctor. Again, Caden Proctor, giant, huge guy, plays a little bit better like a tight end, if I might say so myself. I'm joking, obviously. He's 6'7", 366. Perfect guy to move to guard because guard is a big need. They got just blitzed by the Patriots last time. So I think taking Proctor here is honestly a good pick, and hopefully you don't waste that generational defense. I think that defense maybe has like 2 or 3 years left in them. So hopefully get CJ Stroud some help because he has the mental timer ticking in his head. Whenever he drops back, he has that mental timer, and you don't want that if you're a quarterback because you saw the same shit with Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. He had a problem with that, and that eventually led to his downfall. So I think taking him here, that's a good pick. The Rams. I don't know who they could take here. There's not a lot they can take here. Maybe go. I'm taking Jamal McCoy, so they're not gonna go corner. I'm gonna go CJ Allen. CJ Allen, again, he's not been great in coverage, but he's very good as a run stopper. He's filled those holes perfectly. He's not as good as someone like a Sonny Styles, who the Giants have taken this mock draft, but he's been pretty good. So I think taking him here, it's not a terrible pick. And I don't mind this pick. Taking him here. I know you have a deep linebacking core, but I think Landman and look at the Rams depth chart. It's Romer Spates, Nate Landman. I think you can maybe get rid of Spates. And taking CJ Allen, it's not a bad pick for what you can get. Maybe development under Landman. Maybe the number one guy because Landman is on the older side, I'm pretty sure. So he's 27, so he's gonna eventually start hitting his prime too. So I think taking CJ Allen to develop him, who is also very, very young as a junior. So I think taking him here, it's not a bad pick. If you're the Broncos, you would have loved CJ Allen. I think they need linebacker, but yeah. Man, the board is falling really terrible for them. This is actually really sad. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be a little crazy, maybe a little frisky. I'm gonna go with the Senior Bowl standout. I'm gonna go Malachi Fields. Okay, so the Broncos have a glaring hole at wide receiver. It's not really glaring, as some might say, but Bo Nix isn't doing much, or is doing a lot with not much. They need that number one wide receiver. I think taking Malachi Fields here is not a terrible pick. He's been doing very well in the Senior Bowl, and with the issues with Chris Bell with his ACL, and I'm not really sold on Jeremy Bernard, and I'm not very sold on Brazil, who is fine, I guess. He's not really a first-round wide receiver. Surratt and Cooper are fine too, but I think they're more round two guys. We're gonna put Malachi Fields in here just for a little friskiness of the Senior Bowl action. I think taking him here is a good pick. I don't hate this pick. He won down the field a lot, and route running was pretty crisp. So I think taking him here is not a bad idea. Maybe you land your wide receiver one, but it might be a reach. But I think this is a fun little pick for the Broncos. The Patriots, I'm gonna have going Akeem Messidor. Again, Akeem Messidor, he would be probably a top 15 pick if he was like 22. The problem is he's 25. Maybe he's gonna be 26. I think when he starts. He's gonna be like 25 when he starts training camp. So, I think taking him here is good for the value. He's gonna be instant impact. He's gonna be like 30 though when his fifth year option is done. So that's gonna be a problem. Or when his fifth year option is probably picked up. But the production has been there, and I think he's been as sound as a run blocker, a run stopper, and a pass rusher, as most of these guys who have been taken above him. It's just the age. So I think taking him here is not a bad pick. And for finally to round it up, this is an easy pick for me. Keith Abney to the Seahawks. Again, with Keith Abney, he didn't measure that high in his measurements, but he measured around 5'10". But again, he has a knack to play football. He's very smart, and I think the Seahawks can use that with as many people hitting free agency. So I think you have to kind of like bite your tongue a little bit and just eat your losses and take Keith Abney. I know the corner board hasn't fallen very well, and I think Colton Hood's draft stock fell tremendously after the Senior Bowl. But it is what it is. That's about it. Thank you all for watching. As always, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all again one last time. Thank you guys. I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and thanks for everything. See you guys tomorrow, I think.